I usually I have a logo here, but I guess I forgot to put it on today. Today's kind of a weird day. I got it set up really late. I have my guest artist here, which is Kate Kirscht. Hi, Kate.
Hello.
Joining us from Minneapolis. And today is a special fundraiser episode. My friend lost his house in a fire, and that definitely sucks and stuff. And so, kind of sharing some of the pictures. I gotta wait for Robin to join us, but just kind of sharing some of the pictures a little bit. Ah, there she is. There's Robin.
Robin.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So I'll just open up this album so that we can see it like full screen. But yeah, so this is the front of the house after the fire.
Oofda.
And then you can see here, this is the inside of the top level. And he thinks it might have been an electrical fire.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Oh, top level.
Yeah, and you can see there it's like, it's smoked out and stuff. And then downstairs, this is in the kitchen. Downstairs is just destroyed by water because of the fire truck's water. And so it got like destroyed. All this is ash, by the way. It's like not dirt. Let's see, is there any more? I could have sworn there was like more. Come on. Yeah, my thing, my keyboard is acting up. Okay, sorry. It doesn't want to work, and I think the battery's dying on it. I think that's why. Okay, there we go. So there's another picture inside. There's more of the fire. This is the stairs going up to the upstairs.
Jesus, look at all that ash.
Yeah, so again, that's ash. You can see the footprints. If I change the orientation a little bit, you can see the footprints of the fire department right there in the ash and stuff. So in the description is a link to the GoFundMe. So if you guys, feel like donating stuff, I'll be clicking on this pretty much throughout the entire show because this is awful. This is devastating. And yeah, so it sucks. No one likes fires when it destroys your house. Yeah, like this is a good example of, I want to say this is the upstairs, looking into the bathroom from the upstairs. Yeah, so it's pretty devastating. So yeah, so we'll be reminding the audience a couple times throughout the day of that, and hopefully, there's generous folk out there and stuff like that. And so now to happier things, we have the world of Philo. And whoa, hi Kate. Hi Robin. Let me balance this out with a cat. And so, yeah, we'll do that. So where we left off is we are now doing a flashback of Phyla in her childhood, wanting to hang out with the cool kids of the kaiju, smoking behind the bathroom in school. And that's where we left off. Kay, you said that you wanted to do the first panel, so let me add yours. There we go. And then I'll work on panel 2. So what happens to Phyla in the past? Why does she want to join or not join the kaiju?
Well, clearly they rejected her when she was trying to hang out with them, and it left a scar.
Yeah, okay.
An emotional scar.
Are we going to show that?
She had a crush on Godzilla.
She had a crush on Godzilla? Are we going to have her pining for Godzilla?
Yeah.
Okay, is that going to be your panel then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Destroying Tokyo
Yes.
again and again every night in her dreams.
And just like I've been telling the other artists too, Kay, is if you want to handwrite in your caption, you can do that as well. if that's easier for you than trying to type it in.
Let's see what I can do here.
Yeah. Okay. So, so she's pining for Godzilla. I guess that would be your caption. Is Philo pined for Godzilla in high school?
Secretly pined.
Secretly pined for Godzilla?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me.
But her diary was found.
Oh no! I guess that's my panel, huh? Is her diary was found?
Right.
Okay, I can do that.
There.
So how are you, Miss Robin?
Good.
You got your hair cut?
Yeah, I finally got it shaved. Been lazy, didn't get it done for most of the summer actually.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta dye it again because it's back to my brown. There's not a lot of blue left. So I'm thinking of going purple.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going into salon and getting my hair done real wild before class starts.
Good idea.
You know, and so that way, like kids and stuff are like, "Whoa, she has pink hair," or something. You know, I don't know what color I would go with, but I'm thinking about getting it like, you know, two-tone or something. I don't know. Let's see. Oh no, her diary was found, right?
Yes.
Philo's diary was found, and I guess it would be like
By who? The
G
cool
plus
kids? Who found the diary?
I don't know. Like, would it be another kaiju?
Mothman? Mothra? Sorry, Mothra.
Mothra does seem like a snitch, huh?
He's kind of creepy. Creep.
Mothra's a she.
Oh, sorry, Mothra. Makes me think of No Face. You know, where it's just kind of lurking.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
So,
that.
I guess she's a lurking snitch. I could totally see her stealing the diary, finding it, and telling everyone.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Mothra then showing the diary to the other kaiju then. And let me
Philo's name is on the front cover in beautiful cursive. That's how we know it's hers. Oh, so actually, I forgot the big news. The big news is that 4 days ago, my brand new nephew was born.
Congratulations! Oh,
Yeah.
you're an aunt.
Again, second time.
Yeah. Well, still, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I live in the same house with them, so I see them all the time. So I got
yeah. So it still has that brand new, fresh baby smell right out of the package.
oh, big time. He's so tiny. His name's Patrick, and he's really quiet so far. I've not heard him cry yet. The only one who's crying the most is the 2.5-year-old, almost 3-year-old.
Yeah, going, I'm not being.
I'm not the center of attention anymore. Yeah. The other thing that I find really interesting is that we have a dog, and Frederick, the first kid, he was born before we got the dog. It was like, I think, 1.5 years when the dog arrived. So, but the dog doesn't really care about Frederick that much. But with Patrick, he's like all up in Patrick's face. He wants to smell him all the time. And then when my brother let him out to go to the bathroom, like whenever Ritz wants attention or he wants you to come out and play with him or he doesn't want to be outside anymore, he like barks. He barks all the time. He's a crazy barker, right? But this time, like when he let him out this morning, he was whining at the door, like, please let me back in. Whine, 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 whine. Like he really, really wants to be around the baby. Like it's really interesting.
Let's see. I think on the front she should have like a G plus P and a little heart.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's kind of funny that that's how we're going when I sent you that video about Godzilla being so thick.
Yes.
Sorry for this. It's
Let's see.
mess.
What's going on, Kay? Is it not working out?
It's not working at all. It's even worse than before. They updated the driver. They updated everything. I'm working off of Bluetooth. I've got something under my hand, and the pen is doing whatever the hell it wants.
I'm so sorry, Kay. Like, it's my fault. I should have gotten the room set up and a tech check first, but
I was drawing with it before the show. I wonder if there's something bizarre with Restream and Photoshop in that. Look at that. My pen is the hell away from the screen.
That's weird. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I did.
It's honestly the only downfall about this show, because there's other people I'd like to invite, but they don't have the tech to do it either.
Yeah, I know. There's with the old show on MTN, what we used to do is we just had a camera over our shoulder. And if people have a setup at home for streaming, whether it's for traditional medium or it's digital medium, like they're welcome on the show. But most people don't stream when they're professional artists; they just draw.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting. That's trying to find the artists that are willing to come on that do work digitally or have a setup with a camera and stuff where we can both see them and what they're drawing at the same time.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't have that. They'll just have like one camera just for meetings or something. Mm-hmm. And so it's something I've definitely run into. Oh no, are you gonna have to mouse draw, Kay?
Yes, that's what I'm doing. Yep, I am.
Oh no.
I'm going to bring this back to Best Buy with its little receipt and say this sucks, this doesn't work at all. I've done everything.
Well, I think that like if it's not working, I don't know what it is. And you said you had new drivers and everything, right?
Yeah, I do.
And this is why I like doing tech check. This is why I like doing tech check.
Yeah, well, you could be right about it being like something hinky with Restream, because like you said, you were doing it fine before.
Oh gosh, you know what? I realized we've been ignoring chat. I forgot to set up my my chatty. That usually
it's just Dale talking about Godzilla and butts.
Oh man, do they own the house where they ensured no butts this episode? Don't we all love Godzilla? You don't make love to Godzilla, you make love at Godzilla. The Diary is Godzilla Erotica, 50 Shades of Kaiju. I do like that joke. And then I have it. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let me start up my Restream here, or not my Restream, but my chatty. And I have to get I did not get anything done today that I meant to get done. And so like I'm so behind. I don't even have pages built. I don't have my Cliff Notes updated.
Yeah, but Kate's been paying attention. She's actually been watching the episode, so I don't think she needs Cliff Notes.
Well, still, yeah, she was here last episode, and Dale says it is usually best to ignore him. So,
well, we could never ignore you, Dale.
Yeah, I'm still sorry, Dale. Like, I didn't invite anyone this show.
For the episode that you made a fundraiser?
Again, I know, I'm awful. I meant to get a lot more done, but I was at Ian's school today helping to set up. He has class starting on Monday. And so you know
that's coming up fast, man.
So you
guys are early. Our kids don't go to school for another 2 weeks. Because I work with all these teenagers, right? And one of them was freaking out today. She was like, oh my God, I only have 2 more weeks and then I start high school again. And she goes, oh my God, it's my last year. I'm graduating this year. Oh my God, I got to figure out what I'm going to do and apply to university. Like, oh my God, she's just freaking out.
Yeah, I mean, we all had that moment when we were that age, right?
That's true.
Oh, it's Philo Diary.
She was even like, oh my God, I'm going to have midterms. I was like, dude, you're not even there yet. Relax.
Let's see, Philo's Diary.
Lots of little hearts.
Yeah. We'll do little hearts.
The Tokyo burning in the background. Yes.
Yes, this is her thinking about it. Let's see. Okay, and then Dale says Canadian kids are on the metric educational system. Yeah.
Yeah, they finish at the end of June, and then they have. Oh no! Wait, no, they finish at the end of July. My mistake. They finish at the end of July. Yeah, and they have August. No, I'm wrong. They finish at the end of June, and they have July and August off, and then they go back to school like the first Monday of September. And then we get like 2 weeks off at Christmas. Yeah. Oh, that's a good line, Dale. I like that line. Oh, I wish we could incorporate that.
Poor girl's heart. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, is that she wants to destroy Tokyo with Godzilla.
Yeah.
You know, they could do it together. It's so romantic.
As long as we're together, we have fun.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking along the lines of like, so romantic by the light of the burning buildings. You know?
The charred ruins.
Yeah, the charred ruins.
It's so
speaking of charred ruins.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's apropos.
Yes, charred ruins. I am reminding the audience, as soon as I can actually grab the thing, I'm reminding the audience that my friend Rob lost his house.
We all know as Magic Marmot. You should also
Magic Marmot
mention.
in the comments. He's not there right now in chat because I forgot to invite him. I forgot to invite everybody.
Also, I think he's kind of focused on other things right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, more information about this. Rob was not home when this happened.
Thank God. And did he have any pets there? Hopefully not.
He has 2 dogs, but he inherited property from his mom when she passed away up in Bemidji. That's how you pronounce it, Bemidji. And so he was up there when this fire happened, but his roommate that lived in Minneapolis was still there. She was just downstairs at the time, and then she heard something, called 911, you know, did what she could, immediately called him after calling 911. Hey, the house is on fire. The police are on the way. You know, she did nothing wrong. And so, now she's like out of the place to live because it's not habitable at this point. Mm-hmm. And so, see, fire. Speaking of charred ruins, if anybody wants to give, the GoFundMe link is in the description. And, he's not trying to raise that much, like $5,000. And I think that's to help like pay the insurance premiums and stuff like that. He does have insurance, which is good. But it's still, there's a huge loss of like item wealth. And he lost a computer, he lost some film equipment and stuff. And so, again, I am sharing the fire to remind the audience that there are charred remains in this world. Are you still working on it?
Yes, I am, and I'm proud of it.
Excellent.
I'll fix it up in post-production, but yeah, this is
so what happens after the diary gets exposed then?
Well, should you show it to where they're all laughing at her? She could have a Carrie moment where she wants them all to die or something. Buckets of blood rain down on the kaiju. Oh no, and she's a nature goddess, so maybe it's like poison ivy, where it's all vines and stuff, just like choking them. I don't know.
I don't know. Like the whole Carrie thing was that she had these latent powers that like no one knew about, and they were coming out, and rather than like helping her mom like locked her in a closet and shit. You know, and then she thinks they're being nice to her. She thinks they're being nice to her, and then the pig blood, and so Carrie just goes apeshit, and I don't blame her.
Very relatable tale, that Carrie.
Another story that Stephen King wrote around the same time that you will never be able to find again is Rage.
I have it.
Rage by one of the Bachman books.
The Bachman book. Yeah, I have the book.
Yeah,
I read it in high school, and this was before Columbine happened.
Yeah,
and they wanted to ban it, so I found it and bought it, and I just was like amazed by it because it's like it's about a kid who takes his class hostage, but it makes a lot of sense. Like, it's not like he's lost his mind. He's just been bullied so much he doesn't know what to do, and he just wants to like discuss shit, but it gets extreme.
No one will talk to him, and
there's a lot of good stories in that Bachman books, because I think The Longest Mile is in that also, where it's like they have to keep walking and walking and walking.
Yeah, they're making a movie of that.
Yeah, and then there's another one. There's like a Schwarzenegger movie I think they made of it or something. But yeah, there's a couple of good stories in there. He's got great stories. I mean, he's got some awful stories too, but I remember my friends and I.
Cocaine years. Like, I'm sorry, but Tommyknockers is one of the worst.
It's the worst. Oh my god! Yeah. It's the first time in my life where I read a book where I actually stopped reading and read the last few pages to make sure the kids live, and that was it. I was like, this is the worst book I've ever read. I've never stopped reading a book like that. Usually I'll finish it, but
he's talked about it in interviews. And one of the reasons why that book is so bad, and think about what the Tommyknockers is about, okay? He was giving up drinking and cocaine addiction at the same time when he was writing that book.
Mm-hmm.
And he just got out of rehab, and he had to write to pay for rehab, pay for his family, pay for his mortgage and everything like that. And he just, he's a workhorse. So he pumped out what he could come up with at the time, but he wasn't in the same mindset that he was used to in writing because he was sober. Yeah. And if you think about the Tommyknockers, where it's like this power that like helps you out, and then it kind of takes over your life, and then you're kind of a slave to it and stuff. I feel like he was dealing with his addiction in that book. Sense. Is that it was him fighting his own demons.
Mm-hmm.
And that Langoliers is pretty bad.
I never read that one. But my friend and I, we had a theory that he takes like a fear and then he like blows it up to like this crazy extreme. So like, Christine's like the fear of getting hit by a car, and Carrie, it's not being, the fear of not being popular kind of thing. But because the one that really affected me the most, the one that I was absolutely terrified by was the It. And we figured that one was the fear of being alone. Because that's when the clown came, is when you were alone.
So Dale says she went on a rebound and dated a lot of kaiju. and I think that is a fantastic third panel for Kay to draw.
Okay.
Is that she is a woman of her own. Magic Marmot, thank you for joining us. Tommy did not
we need some cohesiveness here in the story. Like,
yes, I don't like King's writing. It is a style thing. His books on writing is a must read, though. Yeah, absolutely. And then make some awesome audiobooks, though. King's writing is. I like his older stuff over his.
Okay, no, his stop! I'm talking about our story. Our story is not making sense. To go from they found her diary to all of a sudden she's sleeping with a bunch of other kaiju.
Okay.
We need some more sequential expose.
Well, like we gotta have them like looking at it then and seeing all the Godzilla love.
And having her being angry enough to go on this rebound. Like, you have to show a bit of progression.
I suppose so. Okay. So then you're gonna be drawing them.
And why does what's her name have a heart coming off her? Isn't she showing the diary as revenge to make Philo look bad?
Okay, I can make it a meanie face.
No, but why would she show the diary if she likes Philo? She would have kept it a secret if she likes her.
Yeah, do this. So it's a little meanie face.
Because if they're all going to be laughing at her afterwards, then it makes sense. The story needs a little bit of cohesiveness and sequential storytelling.
Let's see, and then somebody needs to read the diary, says Magic Marmot, and Godzilla love, big scary radioactive love, says Dale.
What's I don't understand what the mystery date is.
Her mystery date is Mothra.
What happened? okay, wait. So she loves Godzilla. She wants to be with Godzilla. She wrote about it in her diary. Mothra finds the diary. And then what happens in panel 3?
Well, we should see a couple of the kaiju crowding around the diary and maybe pointing at Philo.
Yeah.
Laughing.
So do you want panel 4 then? Do you want that to be panel 4K? And then I'll do.
I'm drawing panel 3 right now. If you want me to make that panel 3 instead, I can.
Well, no, what I'm saying is we need to insert something between your panel and my panel. So I'll just take over panel 3 and then we'll just renumber yours panel 4.
Okay.
Because that's for going on the rebound. The mystery date is the rebounding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I like that.
Yeah. And then we'll just do that.
And so she had a Philo at the bottom with hearts in her eyes again at the new guy.
She's trying.
She's very desperate. She has an army of beavers and warrior goddesses. Maybe that's why she's the leader of them.
Oh, gosh. There we go. Okay.
The rejection from Godzilla and all these other monster mystery men drove her to try to take over a whole planet, and now she has her own army of beavers and Willendorfs. That's how she got to where she is now. Spite.
My keyboard is acting up. I
know about Mystery Date Dale because I actually saw it for sale at the toy store I went to last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, Magic Marmot says Godzilla gets embarrassed. To me, it's like in high school when you have a crush on the quarterback and that Godzilla's like the quarterback, and he's like, he doesn't want to hurt your feelings, but he doesn't really want to date you either.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Magic Marmot's onto something. Godzilla gets embarrassed.
Yeah, because he doesn't like Philo?
He does, but he doesn't like her. He just likes her. Remember that from the Wonder Years? He just likes her. He doesn't like her.
I remember the Wonder Years. I watched that show. I remember.
Remember that?
I remember. Oh, I'm gonna turn myself off for a second so that we can see how cute the cat is.
Oh, look, it's furry. It's a very close up of the cat.
It's hard to show the cat because the cat belly is so furry, but he's just, he's on his back. So, okay. So they read Philo's diary. I think I'll have them all gathered around.
Magic Marmot thinks that in the now times that Godzilla is older and feels bad about his rejection of her. Maybe in the now times they actually start to date and that's the end of the story. Mao goes to jail, kaiju jail, because Godzilla is tired of Mao messing with Philo, and he realizes that Philo is everything he ever wanted in a mate.
And then they all eat pasta.
Yeah. Gotta bring it on back.
Gotta bring it back. Yeah. Okay. So let's see.
And then our crew is invited to the wedding, and that's the final panel. Everybody at the wedding. Yeah, oh, Magic Marmot says he just saw the scroll bar. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm trying my best to help where I can, and even if that's a stupid little scroll bar on my show. And I forgot to invite everybody. I didn't post any links on any of my socials. I don't have any of my pages built. I am so behind.
Yeah, but most of your friends should know by now. We've been doing this for 6 months, every Saturday.
Yeah.
So if they join us, they join us. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is.
I know, but I like annoying them.
Dale made a really funny joke. He said Godzilla is not looking for any trad kaiju, like a trad wife, but a trad kaiju. I thought that was funny.
Ian found something, or I found it online, but I actually sent him a picture of it because it was so funny. But it was stuff like modern slang. So it's like raising your hand is slay.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, those with their cell phones off have Riz and shit like that. It was really bad. It was really bad and cringy. Yeah, and so
I work with that age group, so there was one of them last week that was just like sigma, like this constant sigma. Okay, I get it, sigma.
Wait! I know what that one is. I have to go to Urban Dictionary.
Cool. I think sigma is cool.
Urban Dictionary. Love the urban. Sigma. What all 10-year-olds think they are. I'm a Sigma.
They're cool.
A popular, successful, but highly independent and self-reliant person. Typically a male. A term used to describe you as an alpha male, typically used by the average toddler or YouTube shorts.
Well, this girl was just saying it over and over again. She wasn't calling anyone Sigma. She was just saying Sigma.
So maybe she was just going, I'm the greatest.
Yeah. She's a funny one. And then I was reading an article about that. You know how they're all into that skibbity toilet thing? I was reading an article about how that actually stems back from like the 20s and how teenagers back then would say like 23 skidoo. And then the guy like goes through like all the transitions and how it's just like youth over a millennia have wanted to just say skibbity scat, whatever. They just like how that sounds.
Skibbity means a nonsensical word.
Oh yeah.
It's like saying, a whatchamacallit or whatever. You can say, give me that skibbity thing. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
The more you know, ding.
But now, skibbity toilet is like some crazy meme from some video clip that the kids all like love now.
Yeah.
It's a head in a toilet going skibbity.
I have a 3-year-old. You don't have to explain it to me.
Maybe Kay doesn't know.
Actually, I was kind of wondering about the skibbity. About 4 years ago, Little Big under a different pseudonym had a skibbity, and that was the name of the song. And he's out there with this toy keyboard, just rocking the hell out of it in back
in
of
Party Monster. I just watched that recently.
You know what's weird, Kay, is my Wacom is doing the same thing. Of like, it kind of wants to go in its own direction. It's acting like it's like skipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Freestream has something that messes with Bluetooth or with our boards.
I don't know.
I was drawing with it before, and it was reacting quite well. And then I do the show, and the moment it's like it goes, and then it kept drawing, even though I had the pen away from the board.
If that's the case, it might be a memory issue on your end. You may not have enough virtual memory. You might not have enough RAM to handle both at the same time.
This is a slightly older Mac now.
Let's see. I'm a Figma of my own imagination, says Magic Marmot. Mothra's plan for the embarrassment backfires. Now Mothra is cranky and wants to take revenge. Dale says the skibbity stuff is discussed in the cult movie Party Monster. Magic Marmot says skibbity doodah. And then Magic Marmot also says it's Jeffrey Dahmer Day.
Does that mean that we celebrate Jeffrey Dahmer?
I don't know, but apparently it's Jeffrey Dahmer Day.
I watched Party Monster recently, and I actually just finished the book by the guy who wrote about Party Monster.
Yeah, Party Monster is a crazy movie, and I gotta say, okay, just before you go into it, Macaulay Culkin nails that role.
He does. He really does.
But
so does Seth Green.
And the two of them playing off of each other, like just amazing chemistry. And then there are these two awful people that you kind of like and don't like at the same time because they're awful.
But apparently they were both like that in real life, like the two James St. James and it was really interesting actually. Is James St. James is really tight with the guys who are part of World of Wonder, which is the two guys that do everything RuPaul Drag Race. They produce all of RuPaul stuff. So if you get like a subscription to World of Wonder, because I've done it, you get like all this James St. James content. It's pretty interesting. Where he gets all these different people to make up his face, or, you know, famous people or former Drag Race contestants, or even just like, you know, other people that are kind of famous, like the Boulet brothers. So it's interesting. But yeah, it's Scrattle. In Party Monster, it's all Scrattle and Skriddle and Scritch. It's not Skibbity.
I haven't read it yet. Is the book really good?
Yeah, the book's pretty interesting, but it's all like from his perspective. It's James St. James, right?
Well, so and he is not a reliable narrator.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
He is not a reliable narrator.
He does his best to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, he's not sitting there saying, "Oh, I never did drugs." He's like, "And on this day, we did enough ketamine to fell a horse." You know what I mean? So, like, at least he's somewhat honest in his way. And I also like the fact that he takes the time to describe a lot of like the evenings that they did, because the whole reason why they got so huge is because they were putting on these party nights at clubs, where it was just so extreme.
Yeah, the club kids parties. They changed it where, I mean, during the days of like Studio 54 and stuff, people would dress up. But during the James St. James days of the club kids, like, they were costume parties, you know, and like they'd have them in the middle of February, right? And people would have these elaborate costumes at these parties.
Well, but a lot of it wasn't just like trying to look beautiful. It was trying to be like shock as much as possible. So you would have James St. James in a wedding dress, but he'd be covered in meat and blood. You know what I mean? The other thing is that the main character, and I've forgotten his name, that Macaulay Culkin plays, the one that was the murderer that the whole thing is about. Yeah. He had some of the most interesting ideas. Like, he would just decide to have a party at a Burger King, and so like all these club kids, like 40 or 50 of them, would just like slam into this Burger King, and you'd buy burgers for everyone, or, you know, McDonald's or whatever. And it just was like such an event, such a scene, such a happening that everybody wanted to be involved. There's clips of them online on Geraldo just being themselves, where you can see it all live. And
Magic Marmot says Jimmy Kimmel thing, talking about the Jeffrey Dahmer day. Dale says Party Monster is a cult classic, great cast, honest-ish, honest-esque, honest adjacent. It was cosplay. Now they dress as Star Wars characters, flash crowds. Yeah, it was definitely like the beginning of kind of the flash mobs and stuff, because they would say like, okay, let's go to Union Station and have a party, and they wouldn't have a permit or anything. I realize that Kay has been patiently waiting for us to figure out what the next panel is, and we've been just talking about James St. James and Party Monster.
You're drawn.
So she Philo on the rebound dates a bunch of kaiju. So then what happens? Right? So are we now in the modern day with Godzilla feeling bad about rejecting her?
Yeah, but how do we show it's modern day? You know what I mean? Like the transition to it.
We just say present day up in the corner. Because we know this is a flashback.
Well, what I'm thinking is maybe we'll have a couple of Willendorfs around her and Beavers, so we know that that's where she is.
And a broken heart. Maybe not.
This is like a really bad Godzilla.
Magic Marmot wants to see a montage of kaiju dates. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I like that idea of montage. Yeah. And then that'll buy us some time to figure out what to do. Yeah. Annie Willendorks asks Dale. You know, dork is actually the name for a whale penis. That's where the term dork comes from.
I bet Evan Dorkin would beg to differ.
Well, no, I mean, if you look it up, that's where the word dork comes
I'm not
from.
disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't think he thinks his last name means whale penis.
So, in the present day,
Dale just wants Willendorf butts. Dale just wants Willendorf butts.
Okay. Now Philo just goes for Willendorf, but
See, link to Dork Dick, fellow ladman, 1550s rhyming nickname, short for Richard, one of the commonest English names. It has long been a synonym for fellow, and so much of the slang senses are probably very old, but naturally hard to find in the survival records. And then is an odd, socially awkward, unstylish person. Blah blah blah. Let's see. Dork, plural, dorks, derogatory slang. I shouldn't be doing this. I should be drawing. I shouldn't be researching. I should be drawing. I'm sorry. Yes, Adele just wants Willendorf butts, and then Adele what? And then Willendorf butt bongos, says Magic Marmot.
okay.
I'm hearing a lot of alliteration.
Yeah. No, we just know that Dale is obsessed with butts.
Mm-hmm.
He'll draw them whenever he gets a chance. And I still owe him a commission, and I owe Chuck some pages I need to color.
Beaver butts.
I've been busy. Sucks. You know,
You
think you have
are wearing
time.
a t-shirt that expressly tells everyone how you feel.
Yes.
It couldn't be
Yes.
more succinct.
Yes, and yeah, I always thought I would be like a childless person, and had a child, and I love her. She's fantastic, an amazing person, one of my favorite people. But yeah, it's something I did not plan on having in my life. Let's see. Stupid.
What is it?
Internet search.
Timmy stuck in a well?
No, I'm just trying to find pictures of Gamera.
No, I was talking to the cat. She's yelling at me. She wants to escape my room. I'm not letting her. Oh, she's sniffing my toes.
Now, if I do this and I turn on our cat, see, we can look at cat belly. It's not a very well situated camera today where the cat's sleeping.
It needs to be higher up so you can see them better.
Yeah, I have it on my light. I have it on my light.
Because usually you can see them pretty good.
Yeah, but he's just in a weird spot where he's like sleeping next to the light. And speaking of light, fire is light. And I'm going to bring back up these photos because this is Rob's house to remind people that fires happen and it sucks. And if you feel like giving, you can give. The link to the GoFundMe is in the description. And there's some fire right there. These are just the photos that he sent me, and so I'm just going to keep going over the same photos over and over again. But yeah, so fire suck. Give if you can. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled comic. So they read Phila's diary. She goes on. Let's see. What'd you say, Phyla?
Goes on a series of mystery dates.
Seeks Willendorf butts and dorks.
Okay. No, it's bongo buns.
Bongo butts.
Yeah, bongo butts.
Let's see. Did you do anything exciting this week, Robin?
Not really. There was a baby born in my household. What more do you need from me?
Well, okay, that's pretty exciting. It's new life, and
I came home and my brother was running out the door, and I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "It's go time." And I said, "Baby, go time." And he said, "Yes." And he zipped away in his car.
And then came back with an extra person.
Yeah, a couple days later, I guess there was a little bit of fluid in Patrick's lungs, so he had to stay in the hospital. He had the first pictures I saw of him, he had a little baby CPAP machine on. Incidentally, he was 9 days early, and his older brother, was 9 days late, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And He has chubbier cheeks than his brother, and they think he's going to be smaller than his brother because when his brother was born, Frederick's toes were like super long. He's like a little newborn, but it's like that toe that's next to the big toe was like super long.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, oh, he's going to be a biggie. And he is. He's like almost 3, and he comes up to my waist. He looks like a 4-year-old. He's huge. But yeah. We'll see what happens. Time keeps ticking. Oh, yeah. Did you hear about that stupid Jeff Bezos clock?
There's so much Jeff Bezos crap. What is it this time?
$42 million to build a clock that tells time yearly. As a reminder, the time keeps ticking. It's going to be in the middle of the desert. $42 million.
You have all this money. Like, get rid of
You
homelessness.
could give like all the student debt with like $42 million. You could cure homelessness. That's what you just said, right? You could cure homelessness. You could feed so many people with $42 million. No, I'm going to build a clock. It tells time only yearly. It's an art installation to make you think.
Yeah.
Who gets that $42 million? The guy who designed it? That's what I want to know.
I remember they were working on a perpetual clock a few years ago. Now that was interesting. The designers of the clock, the engineers, it's like, okay, a clock that whoever is left after 1,000 years, they'll be able to figure this out and get the clock to run.
Mm-hmm.
So it had to be highly intuitive in its design, how to set it going. Or how to keep it going. The
pictures I saw, it was like it was underground, and it's like a whole bunch of gears, like that are like in a cylinder. That's the picture I saw.
Let's see. We have some talking in chat. Easily distractive, Willendorf, but bongos. The goal of the viewers is to disrupt the cartoonist. I will explain that to you guys about the cartoonist. And then she started a Latin percussion band like Tito Puente, but Willendorf butt bongos. And then Gamera is really neat. Gamera's filled with turtle meat. And then no more photos yet, says Magic Marmot. Bongo butt is when you play bongos on someone's behind, and there have been other clocks like that, says Dale.
Yeah, but did they spend $42 million on
it? No.
So Kay, you did panel 4 and panel 5, right?
Yeah, 3 and 5, and there may have been a panel 4 there that you.
No. Remember,
I think your 3 has become 4.
3 and 4 switch. Because I had to put a panel in front of your 3, so my panel became 3, your panel became 4.
Okay.
And then you did panel 5.
And with the Willendorf butt bongos, and I'm trying to draw a line of Willendorfs. So.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out which panel I'm on, which is 6.
Yep, 6.
Yes. Let's see. There have been other clocks like that. Men in their midlife crises often get into expensive watches. Stallone did that. Billionaires are often satisfied with expensive watches, so they go big.
Yeah, go big or go home.
I would be like Andrew Carnegie, right? And build art museums and installations and like libraries, like the New York Public Library was built by Andrew Carnegie and is built by
Sadly, I was reading an article about it in Vanity Fair. I think it must have been at least 10 years ago, and they were talking about since the dot-com boom and all these new millionaires and self-made billionaires or whatever, people have stopped doing that. None of those people do that. They keep their money and they hoard it, and they don't invest it in hospitals, they don't invest it in schools, they don't invest in universities or museums or art galleries or any kind of programs. They just hoard their wealth. Bezos is a perfect example.
Well, except for when he's buying billion-dollar clocks in the middle.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere that if he gave everyone $1 million, he would still have something like 30 billion left. Like it's ridiculous.
Let's see. So Godzilla regrets how he treated Philo way back in the day? Is that what we're going with?
Yes. He sees her for who she is now. It's like that movie She's All That, where the nerdy girl now cute.
Yeah, what I hate about that trope, though, is that she's perfectly fine with her glasses and her hair and stuff like that, and then they have to like pretty her up.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, and now she's happier because she's pretty.
They did a new version recently where it was like a boy, and it was actually pretty funny because it talked a lot about like the whole misogyny of all of it, and then like Molly Ringwald like played his mom. I think it was pretty good.
Yeah. It's interesting. Molly Ringwald, with like 2016 and the Me Too movement and stuff, people brought up Molly Ringwald out of nowhere and like wondering why she and John Hughes had their split. And in 2016 with Me Too and stuff, she basically said, yeah, it was because of stuff like that. And she didn't go into detail, but it really kind of put a bad taste in my mouth about John Hughes, the director.
He was obsessed with her. He was obsessed with her. She talked about it. No, she's talked about it. He would like want to be around her all the time. He would send her like letters and mixtapes and stuff. Like he basically was kind of like her Svengali and wanted to control almost every aspect of her life. He was obsessed.
Yeah. And he made advances to her and stuff like that. And that's what she didn't go into detail, but she basically said that she was uncomfortable working with him after that. Yeah. And so and then this is the guy who also directed, Home Alone and of course, Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles and the Breakfast Club. Yeah, let's see. John Hughes was a National Lampoon's writer. Most of them were serious pervs, says Dale. And unless you become a multi-billionaire, you don't know what you'll do. The number of people that want money from you is obscene. I would agree with that. And let's see. I'd buy a gorilla suit, says Dale. A good one by Rick Baker. Then I'd get a cat.
That's a good plan. Rick Baker's a good, yeah.
But he's retired.
Yeah. But it's still out there. So you could probably get a Rick Baker suit if you had $1 million.
I contacted Heritage Auctions about the head of Dr. Zaius. They haven't gotten back to me. I don't think they're interested.
Oh.
Selling that head would solve a lot of problems, I think, for, immediate problems in my life. But it's like, there's got to be a market for it out there. It's such a unique item. I showed you the head of Dr. Zaius, right, Robin?
Yes.
Good. Just want to make sure.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
Yeah. Okay. So here's something kind of funny. So on Facebook, there is a Planet of the Apes group that I joined to post the head and, see if there's any interest in it and stuff like that. And so, so now I'm a member of this group and I see in out of context comic panels, a cameo of the Planet of the Apes characters on a planet that Galactus ate, right? So it's this full page comic, full page panel of Dr. Zaius and, Zira and all of them going, as Galactus is about ready to eat them, right? So I decide I'm going to share this in the Planet of the Apes group. And they banned me from the group for violating the rules for posting AI. Oh. But it wasn't AI. It was a drawing from a comic book. And they were like, yeah, this clearly violates the rules. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, it has to be original media. And it's like, this is original media. It's from the Marvel comic. And yeah, apparently it was not. Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. But I know it's stupid and it's just like internet drama. which is not important by any stretch of the imagination, but it was still kind of like, really? You're gonna ban me from the group for that? Like, it wasn't offensive or anything. I just posted a picture of like Dr. Zayas going to Galactus. And apparently that violated the group's rules and terms and conditions. You know, yeah. Okay. Kay, are you waiting for your next panel?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So I'm having present day Godzilla regrets how he treated Philo back in Kaiju High. And so I guess he could be approaching her in your panel. Maybe they're talking. What are they talking about? Let's see. If you could get a fanboy collector dollars for it, yes. And then may have been copyright issues. Rick Baker's God, says Dale. And then long history of National Lampoon and perviness.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm not finding any spider hair on the internet of Molly Ringwald saying John Hughes actually made advances on her. She was a teenager when they were making movies. Her parents were around the whole time. I don't think he made advances on her. I know he was obsessed with her and he might have said something, but I don't think he tried to hit on her.
That he changed, can't stop torching John Hughes' legacy, wrote 16 Candles with her. It was back in 2016 where they asked her about it, if that was one of the reasons why she stopped working with him, and she said it was something very similar. She didn't go into detail. She didn't say he gushed his love at her or anything, but she just said that she got very uncomfortable working with him. And that's all I remember from the quote.
Yeah, she doesn't need to go into any more detail than that.
No, it's true, but that's different than saying that he actually made advances on her.
Well, I was probably paraphrasing. I was probably exaggerating, but yeah,
I'm sure he was inappropriate because of the time period. People would say inappropriate things to teenagers, like getting her to do that thing with lipstick with her boobs in Breakfast Club, not age appropriate. But I don't think he honestly made sexual advances towards her.
Yeah.
Can I say that, Godzilla destroyed a town just for her?
So
But how would you show that? Maybe it was like a newspaper headline, or they're watching TV and they're like, "Why is Godzilla freaking out?"
The wreckage of Tokyo he has fashioned into a gigantic heart, or a likeness of Philo.
G plus P.
Buildings and structures.
There's a giant G plus P in the heart. And that's how she started to realize, maybe Godzilla likes her after all.
Oh, no. How can I draw that? Let's see. You like that?
There's so many different versions of Godzilla.
Good question. They all look pretty much alike, over time. I mean, Frankenstein's over time looked very different, but Godzilla.
Well, it depends on which Frankenstein you're looking at, too. Yeah. Don't forget that both, my brain just totally spazzed, Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney Sr. played Frankenstein's creature.
And I think Bela Lugosi, didn't he play Frankenstein's creature?
Bela Lugosi pretty much stuck with
Dracula.
Dracula and stuff, but he did other stuff too. Like Devil Bat is one of my favorite movies.
Boris Karloff that did Frankenstein.
Yeah, and Karloff was also the Mummy.
Frankenstein's monster.
And Lon Chaney Jr., Lon Chaney Sr.'s son, he was the Wolfman.
Dale was like, "You want to cringe rewatch Revenge of the Nerds?" I was absolutely thinking about that today. Literally thinking about that today because I watched it as a kid and I was thinking, I'm sure there's a ton of stuff in that movie that's really bad in this day and age. And I mean, even as a teenager, I watched Porky's, and that's completely inappropriate. But at least we knew that was inappropriate. That's why we're watching it.
We'll do little sweat lines off of him. Let's see.
Those are sweat lines. It looks like he's drooling. Godzilla's drooling over Philo.
I'm trying my best. I am not having a good art day today.
No, I like how you drew the beavers and Philo. That looks great.
I don't know.
She's like, I'm not putting up with any of your shit. I remember back in high school what you did to me.
I was just having her like smile her regular smile and stuff, but I don't know. No, I'm just having a bad art day. I didn't get any of my work done that I needed to get done today. And, you know, I took a nap today. Like, I should have not done that. I should have, like, gotten up and toughed through it and, you know, finished all my stuff.
I have this theory that you shouldn't beat yourself up for sleeping, because if you fall asleep, you need that sleep.
Yeah. Don't. You're a mom.
Yeah.
Look at the cat. It's a cat. Look.
Oh, it's a cat.
She's gonna run away. She hates it. She hates it when I hold her. And now she's on the edge of the bed wondering if she should run away or stay. Her tail is flipping. She's flipping tail mad.
Yeah, we'll give her a little line there. You know, because she is naked. You know, if Instagram's not going to let me post them anyway. You know, Instagram blocked.
That looks awesome, Kay. Perfect. G loves P.
But yeah, Instagram blocked the images that I tried to post last time of Philo. And they said that, you know, they don't support, you know, pornography and stuff. And I'm like, really? Like, this is pornography?
It's just a body. Everyone has one.
Yeah, everyone has a naked body under their clothes. Even Dale.
One of my favorite Muppet skits is when Sam the Bald Eagle is like having a giant rant about how like people are naked and then animals underneath their feathers and fur are absolutely naked, and then he goes on for another 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden he looks down and realizes that he is a bird with feathers, and underneath his feathers he is naked, and he gets embarrassed and runs away.
Yeah, Sam Eagle was never one of my favorite characters. I always thought he was a little boring, you know?
Oh yeah, that's the whole point of him. He's not my favorite either, but that skit I always thought was funny. Because it makes him, it embarrasses him. He gets embarrassed, right? Because he's all going off, and then all of a sudden he realizes, oh no, I'm exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
At the time on Sesame Street, it was kind of like he was the hawkish figure. Kind of a stand-in for
Walter Cronkite?
I suppose the hawks of the day. Yeah. Very conservative.
It's very conservative. So, I found this clip online where this guy was saying that his life would have been so much easier if he had actually, in looking for friends, if he'd asked them what their 3 favorite Muppets were. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, so I asked my friends to pick their 3 favorite Muppets, and then I was like, so I wonder what that says about you. And so, like, for example, like if my friend who picked Sweetums, I was like, well, you feel like you're a monster, but really you're sweet and kind inside.
I like Gonzo.
Yeah, well, Gonzo means you're an absolute weirdo, but you're also pretty sweet.
Let's see, who else do I like of the Muppets?
But Gonzo's a bit of a horn dog too, so I don't know.
Well, only with his chickens.
Yeah, but there was Miss Piggy too for a while. He was always after Miss Piggy for a while. But then, then it became the chickens. It's Camilla. He loved his Camilla.
Let's see, are you doing panel 7, Kay? Okay.
Yep.
Then I'm on panel
7.
Okay. Oh man, I might have to take a quick break and jump off and replace myself with a cat.
Well, cats can't draw.
I know, but he's cute as a button, and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna get up real quick. I'll be back in like a minute.
No problem. Dale says that Porky's has aged badly, but I laughed myself sick when I watched it, and I agree. Did you know that before my big fat Greek wedding, that Porky's was the #1 Canadian film of all time because they like filmed it in Canada, so it made like the most money out of all the Canadian films ever made. And then My Big Fat Greek Wedding came out, and that changed everything.
Porky's.
I was like 13, 14 years old, and so it was like an education. Some famous people in it.
I was grateful when Carrie came out.
When Cherry?
I was getting a whole bunch of shit dumped on me at high school. You know, metaphorically. It's just, I wasn't being treated very well. And then Carrie came out.
All right.
And that stopped right away.
Were they afraid of getting pig's blood poured on them?
Fine.
No, I got bullied a lot in school. Like when I moved back from Germany to Canada, I had like a sort of spiky haircut, like a new wave look going, and all my fashions were totally different. And we moved to this city called Winnipeg that's like in the middle of the prairies. So even though it's a city, it's very small town mentality. And so they would always like hit me and push me and stuff, and they would constantly, are you a boy or a girl? Are you a boy or a girl? Are you a boy or a girl? That's like all I got for like a full year. But I always moved, like I moved because I was in the military. My dad was in the military, so every 3 years we moved. And every time that happened, it's like the first year they thought I was an absolute weirdo and wanted nothing to do with me, and they'd bully me. Second year, they were like, oh, she's okay. Third year, they'd really start to like me. I'd finally get invited to parties. You know, people wanted to be my friend, and then I move away.
Okay, so what happens after Godzilla puts Hearts P in Tokyo?
Well, then I think the next panel should be those two finally getting together, like maybe kissing or hearts coming up from their heads, or maybe we actually jump to the scene where they're getting married, or
wait, they dance by the light of the rubble.
Oh, sounds good.
Yes, they dance by the light of the rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty cool.
There's okay, so I have to admit that I've totally gotten into Taylor Swift music for no apparent reason. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so there's a line in one of her songs about dancing in the kitchen by refrigerator light, and it's such a stupid line, but I love it. It's like, it's such a girl line. And I'm like, damn you, lyrics hitting my girl heart to making me feel things. Yeah.
Dale thought that the biggest film in Canada was Men with Brooms. Well, no, the point is that it's the Canadian movie that made the most money, and Men with Brooms did not make hardly any money outside of Canada. Whereas Porky's made a ton of money outside of Canada, and then of course My Big Fat Greek Wedding was endorsed by Tom Hanks, so it also made a ton of money outside of Canada.
Well, My Big Fat Greek Wedding is just a good, wholesome movie. You know,
yeah, well,
I usually don't like romantic comedies, but that's one I like.
Yeah, it is a good one. We were talking about like in the history of Canadian film.
Yeah.
Porky's was actually the #1 grossing Canadian film of all time until it was usurped by My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
You know, I've never seen Porky's.
I've seen them all. I studied them like I was going to get tested on it.
Oh, because they're Canadian movies? Really? I would think Ginger Snaps.
Because they're like they're all about sex. And I was like 13.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think I missed that one.
You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. It's so preposterous, some of the stuff. Like it's called Porky's because a bunch of the teenage boys decide to go to like the strip club in the border of like the South or whatever, and the guy that owns the place is like the sort of boss hog character named Porky's. And I forget what happens, but they kind of screw something up, and then the guy and his goons are after them, and they have to like get their revenge. But then there's all these shenanigans where they're like peeping through like the shower room at this high school to look at the girls naked and just stuff like that. Just stupid. Like one of them is named Pee Wee, and he's always trying to lose his virginity, and so they're always like razzing him and pulling gags on him. It's just juvenile. It's a brothel.
I tried to watch
Dale,
American
correct me.
Pie.
It's not a strip club. It's a brothel. My mistake.
Yeah, I tried to watch like American Pie when it came out, and I just rolled my eyes after like the first 15 minutes and turned it off. When he stuck his dick in the pie, I'm like, is this really what this movie's about? Right? And I was just like, I didn't watch the rest of it. I know the jokes about band camp and stuff. Yeah, and the fact that she stuck a flute up herself. Yeah, I know that, but it's like I don't need to see that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so
it started a lot of people's careers, though, that movie.
Oh, it did. It's interesting because every actor that you talk to will admit that comedy is harder than drama, but they never give out the Academy Award for comedy.
Liar. That's not true. Marisa Tomei won an Academy Award for My Cousin Vinny. Comedy.
Supporting actress, not main actress.
You didn't specify.
Well, okay.
They do hand out awards for comedy, but you're right. The majority of the Academy Awards are for dramatic.
Yeah, main actor, main actress, and best main actress, whatever. Directing, writing, and best picture never given out to comedy, ever. They're always dramas, and I mean we're talking to the point that like when Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs came out. They wanted to nominate it for Best Picture, but it had never been done before, this animated movie. And so they just gave it an honorary Oscar, which was a big Oscar with 7 little Oscars.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Okay, Kay, what happens after they're dancing in The Light of the Rebel? I'm going to have like helicopters, because I imagine there'd be like helicopters like still flying around and trying to shoot him and stuff.
So they're in present day now, and they are in love in the smoldering ruins of Tokyo.
Would you call Everything romantic. Everywhere All at Once a comedy?
Everything Everywhere All at Once comedy.
Did you watch that? It came out like last year, 2 years ago.
No, I know it's one that's on my list. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Okay.
And so it's not that I don't want to. I definitely want to see it. And I hear that it handles multiverse stuff really great. And I've seen like the scene with the rocks and the googly eyes on them and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know because I haven't seen it. I know that it has some heart-wrenching scenes. I know that it has some comedic stuff like the rocks with googly eyes on him, but it also talks about philosophy and like the meaning of life. And other things. It's kind of like The Life of Pi. That's another one where it's like, is it a comedy? Is it an adventure story? Right? Is it a parable? Is it a children's story? Right? It's one of those that's kind of like it transcends those descriptions because it's kind of its own thing. I don't know. It like Eternal Sunshine of a Beautiful Mind. Right? Or I'm sorry, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind is a drama, right? But there's funny moments in it. But it's more sad than happy. But it's marketed as a romantic comedy. And I would not call it a romantic comedy. Right? But like that's what it's like. That's its genre. But I would call it like a drama. I don't know.
Maybe we could put a parallel here in this panel with we need to get Philo and Bluto and the other team back. So that is the happy ending of Philo and Godzilla, and then you see Philo while those two are dancing in the ruins of Tokyo. Philo and Bluto are doing their own waltz because they're back in the land of Philo.
Shouldn't they get back to their home? To their own planet?
I would have them just off in the distance and, having like Godzilla and Philo like in the distance, right? And these guys are like in the middle of destruction, right? They were just kind of caught in the middle of everything. They showed up on their killer bees, right? And then they're just, and then this happened. So, like, are they still on the killer bees? Like, are they just hovering above, like, watching the whole thing? Like, oh, I guess we just saw a love story.
Maybe it's time to finally go back home.
Yeah, maybe it's time to finally go back home and have some pasta. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the story's kind of gone off the rails a little bit. But
well, that's why we're trying to conclude it, right? I mean, honestly, Magic Marmot wants Mothra to plot revenge, and I respect and appreciate that, but we're trying to end it, so.
I respect and appreciate the plotting of revenge. But, yeah, we're almost there.
We gotta get the new story going. Because you said something very important that I never really thought about, and I want to work on that, which is you pointed out that a lot of stuff happens to Philo, whereas Philo's not doing anything, or very much for that matter.
Yeah.
So I want to start a new story and focus on that. That's a valid point.
Yeah, is that we need Philo to be active in his own story.
Yeah.
And right now he's not. Like, everything kind of is happening to him.
Everywhere all at once.
Let's see, we got Godzilla. Yeah, and I don't know. Godzilla has these like weird things. So yeah, I imagine like they head back home. They have pasta. Then is that it? Is that they're like?
Well, they gotta get there somehow. Like, does Armand show up? Yeah, like it's a wedding. Armand's there, and Armand is DJing the wedding, and then he takes them home.
Yeah, but that's a lot more panels.
No, just have like the next panel is the wedding, and have Armand in the background DJing, and then the final panel is him building a portal or whatever with his arms so that they can walk through it, and then dreaming about the pasta that they're going to eat when they get home. That's 2 more panels. That's all that is. 2 more panels.
Let's see. Okay, we have a lot of talk going on. Vancouver was the hot spot for 90s sci-fi. I learned a lot of lighting from them. At the time, it groped the senses. There was a time when getting some was the peak achievement for dudes. And then the scene in Porky's when the female coach wants a lineup of the high school boys to identify a mole on a boy's wiener, all just dialogue in the principal's office, was genius. And then Mothra plot revenge. I want to make a short film called Something Somewhere Now. Comedy is too broad a term. And then Bluto has to poop. Philo realizes that he needs to take control of his life, says Magic Marmot, and Godzilla bumped his hand against Philo's crotch. I think he's just trying to get handy, you know. But here, he's holding her hand. Okay, see, he's holding her hand there. There's her hand. She's like, "Oh, I love you." Okay. Let's see. I want a small round inset panel with the head of Zardoz with a voice balloon saying the wedding is good. Why Zardoz? Why?
Haven't we already talked about why Zardoz a million times?
Yeah, but like, I still am trying to wrap my brain around it. Why Zardoz? Why? Why Zardoz?
Why not Zardoz?
Let's see. Let's do this. We'll put them over the top of that. Let's see, why Zardoz? Because Zar does. And then the big stone head of Zardoz, not Zed.
Zar does not.
Yeah, I admit I tried to sit down and watch that movie, and I got probably a half hour into it, and I was like, I don't think I can sit down for the rest of this movie. And I had to turn it off. So I tried, Dale. I really tried. You know, maybe I just wasn't under the right influence of drugs. You know, maybe I need to like be really stoned or like watching or like on acid or shrooms or something. I don't know.
context is important. Like, I remember my ex, when I was like 15, wanted me to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I had no idea the context. I didn't know anything about what was going on. Like, I didn't know you were supposed to be watching it with a group of people and yelling at the screen. Like, just nothing like that. So we're just watching it as like a serious movie, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, this does not make any sense at all. And then when I hit high school and I learned what it was really about, it made a lot more sense. But context is important.
Yeah.
Oh, Magic Marmot, I do too. The Dead Don't Die. That's that zombie Jim Jarmusch movie, right? Right. With Adam Driver and Bill Murray, right? And Chloe Sevigny, right?
I don't know.
I want to watch that as well, actually. I love Jim Jarmusch. He's amazing.
See that.
There's this really, you would appreciate this. So Jarmusch did this movie called Coffees and Cigarettes, and it's a bunch of short little vignettes at a coffee shop, and our various coffee shops. There's this really funny one with the Wu-Tang Clan, and Bill Murray is their waiter. That's quite hilarious. But the funny one that you would really like is, you know how Alfred Molina is?
Mm-hmm.
He played Dr. Octopus in the Spider-Man movies. And then there's Steve Coogan, who's like a famous British actor. He was in 24 Hour Party People. He does a lot of comedy and stuff. He was the director in Tropic Thunder, who died really quickly. But yeah, he's a really good actor. So the skit between the two of them is Molina's not really famous yet, but Coogan is. And Molina's discovered that Coogan and him are actually cousins because they're both British. And he's like trying to regale him with this like little bit of tidbit of information. But Coogan's just like acting like Molina's some kind of like fan and doesn't really want much to do with him at all. And is just kind of brushing him off. And then at the very end of the skit, you know, like Molina's on the phone to Richard, and I think it was Richard Linklater, the director, or was it Spike Jonze? Yeah. Anyways, Coogan completely changes because he's like, oh, you know, he wants in on that action, and he's like, all of a sudden, he's all about Molina. It's very funny.
That's a pretty good. They dance by the light of the rubble.
Yes, it looks fantastic.
Should they
even Magic Marmot says excellent smoking ruins.
Yeah, I try. Thank you. So yeah, we'll do this. So now they're in love. And I'm gonna have a little Philo over here watching from the distance, watching from the corner. Just so he's in the panel of his own story.
At least once today,
yeah. Let's see, I'll do.
I'm riding in with Pluto on Killer Bees, seeing the carnage and the great love.
Carnage and love.
Yeah. Let's see, I'll do the dog. Like a little Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing going on down here.
Oh yeah, I should have shown you. Check it out.
What am I looking at? Oh, Molly Ringwald?
Yeah, I'm wearing my Breakfast Club shirt, I just realized.
And we were talking about Molly Ringwald, that's funny.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I'm wearing my low battery shirt, low battery mom shirt.
Mom shirt.
Oh, that's rubble.
Ruins. Rubble and ruins.
Yeah. There we go.
So yesterday, I finally got off my duff and did a laundry after like months. And I was like, oh, it's sunny out. I'll just hang my stuff out to dry in the sun because it'll dry fast. Mm-hmm. And didn't a bunch of torrential downpours occur like a half an hour later. My stuff was drenched because I was asleep by that point.
That's okay. It got that nice summer
second wash.
Yeah, that summer shower feeling. By the way, we're 2 minutes to time, and so Kay, you're done with your panel, right?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, and I'm done with my panel. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the next few minutes and remind people that fires happen, they suck. This is Magic Marmot in the comments, who has been fantastic in the comments and is my friend in real life. This is what happened to his house. So, as mentioned, he was not there at the time. No one was hurt. No deaths, no injuries. The roommate got out in time and called 911, did everything she was supposed to do, and he has insurance. So it's not like the end of the world. That being said, still, it's like it's gonna be taken down to the studs. And he says, yes, Jamus rocks. Excellent smoking ruins. Oh, thank you. I'm wearing my Demolitia shirt, and then main floor needs to be taken down to studs. Dale says, great art tonight. Magic Marmot says, water and smoke damage. And then Dale says, fun chat. Yeah, thank you, Dale. Yeah, you always make chat fun. I'm sorry, we didn't mean to ignore you at first, but I was showing this. And here's, like, you can see up here, like, some of the damage and stuff. So yeah, they had to blast everything with hoses, and there's a lot of water damage. Yeah, not enough Zardoz talk though. Yeah, and I meant to ignore Dale, says Magic Marmot. So yes, so if you can give his special fundraiser episode for Rob, the link is in the description to the fundraiser on GoFundMe. And so thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I appreciate it. Let me turn off my screen, and then I shall turn off Kay's screen, and then it shall be the three of us. Hi. So Miss Kay, thank you very much for joining us this evening. I'm sorry that we had techie difficulties. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I will see you next time I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. And then Miss Robin, my better half, thank you for joining us today. And like, talking up everything and knowing more about, like, Breakfast Club and Molly Ringwald than me.
You got to read the comment.
I know you love Chuck more than me, says Dale. And then Chuck is sexy. Much love and thanks. Yes. And so, yes. And I will say goodnight to Robin, and I will say goodnight to chat. Thank you very much, chat, Magic Marmot and Dale. And I think it was pretty much just the two of you guys tonight. But again, I didn't send out any interview or invites or anything. But thanks for joining us. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.